If I am ever in doubt, I need you to be there to restore my hope and to rebuild my certainty. In confidence, I can find, in community rather, I can find my confidence, and your curiosity can affirm it. Early in my career, I led a large-scale event that did not go exactly as planned. I'm lying to you, it was terrible. And when I debriefed the event with my manager, I just knew that she was going to run down the list of every mistake I had ever made, probably from birth. But instead, she opened with a question. What was your intention? I was surprised but relieved. She knew that I was already beating myself up, and that question invited me to learn from my own mistakes instead of damage my already fragile confidence. Curiosity invites people to be in charge of their own learning. That exchange, it helped me approach my next project with the expectation of success. Permission, community, curiosity. All of these are the things that we will need to breed the confidence that we'll absolutely need to solve our greatest challenges and to build the world we dream.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight on Real Talk with Jean Price. I am so glad you have tuned in. Can I tell you, we are celebrating Women's History Month. And it's probably the most exciting time, not just because I'm a woman, just because I love celebrating another woman. I love giving her her flowers. I love encouraging her. I love reinforcing to her that she is able to do anything that she puts her mind to. And that's what we're going to be doing this month. And it's a great thing because I think so many times it's so easy to be negative toward each other. But here on Real Talk with Jean Price, we are slated to make sure that every woman that we represent, we want to make sure that they understand that they are special to us. So find your mother, your sister, your auntie, your friend, find some lady out there and just give her some encouraging words this whole month. Send them a text message, send them an email, let them know just how special they are. I'm excited about my guest tonight. It's going to be great talking with her. She has a wealth of knowledge that she's going to be bringing to what she does. But tonight we're going to be talking about something that's so great and is so fitting for this month, the empowered woman. So you want to watch this show because we're going to be talking to you about just that piece that we need to just let us know that we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us, right? So I want to take this time to welcome my guest to Real Talk with Jean Price. Help me welcome Yazmin VanHorn to Real Talk with Jean Price.
Hi. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hello, Yazmin. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm so excited to be on with you tonight.
Awesome. Well, listen, we are so excited again to have you on Real Talk with Jean Price. When I speak on behalf of my team and I can't wait to dive into this conversation and kind of learn so much about you. But before we
I'm excited as well.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, like she said, my name is Yazmin VanHorn. Right now, I'm completing my postgraduate certification for a licensed mental health counselor, which I will be done in June 2023. After that, I'm going to take a little break and then go into my PhD for pastoral care and family counseling. Currently, I am a new-time mom. I do have a 1-year-old. I've been married for 5 years. I go to the most amazing church in the world. The Excelling Church with Prophet Jarrell K. Solomon is my pastor. Hey, Pastor, how are you? And I haven't officially launched yet, but I just had my first client for my consulting business, which is VanHorn Consulting LLC. We are a lifestyle, beauty, and mental health consulting agency.
Wow, that is awesome. I'm ready to dive right into this conversation. You know, Yazmin, as I was saying in the intro, it's Women's History Month, and I'm so excited that you are our first guest in Women's History Month. So we got to hear a whole lot about you and want to know what's going on in your life. But I want to kind of start with this question. What are your thoughts and what does it mean to you, sisterhood? What does that mean to you?
Wow, sisterhood. So the first thing I'm going to say, sisterhood means to me, number one, is safety.
Ooh, yes. Okay.
The second thing I would say is security.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing I would say is trust. You can't be my sister if I can't trust you. The next thing I would say is honesty, and community, because I'm in a space where I need the women around me, my community of sisters, to be tight. I'm not in a space where I'm able to have any gaps. I need everyone to be on the same page, which means we are all working on ourselves. We're all growing. We're all trying to be the best Yasmin's, whoever can be, best moms, entrepreneurs. I'm around a bunch of entrepreneurs. Okay. So that even pushed me even more to go and just jump right in head first, So I'm very grateful for my girlfriends that I do have around me, and because they're all honest with me. And we're all encouraging and empowering each other all the time. To me, I'm the cheerleader of the group. Like, I'm first in line. I'm the cheerleader. So somebody, doing something, they send me a picture of their outfit. They're like, "Oh, let's go together." I'm like, "Yes, girl, that goes together." Okay, right. Hair, makeup. Yeah. They know that's me. So I'm like the pusher. And then I have the rest of my friends that are prayers that's going to show up, that every different area of my life, I have girlfriends for. And I'm so grateful to my circle.
You just went right into the direction I really wanted to go tonight. And that's so powerful what you said, right, Yasmin? And as I was saying, when I opened the show, it's so important, right, for us to be able to encourage each other as women, like you being on Real Talk. Listen, I'm going to get right up under you. I'm going to say, listen, this is a platform for you to talk about business. That's what it's about, right? And I love what you talked about. The word I love was community. Now, we live in a world where there's so much competition. So much. We're competitive. How do we make sure that we can keep each other uplifted and not compete with one another? Because I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do. Not shouldn't use the word can't, but we're in two different arenas. But
I can't fill your shoes.
That's my point. So if I can't fill your shoes and you can't fill mine, let's talk about how we can maybe walk together in two different pairs of shoes. How about that? Let's talk about that.
So first, I want to say, ladies, stay off of Instagram. I think that's our number one issue and problem. You want to know why? Because we have to understand that Instagram is a facade. It's not real life. It's not everyday life. These women that get up there that have the little waists, the big breasts, the big butts, you're like, "Oh, I need to look like that to get to my next level," or, "Oh, I need to be up here half naked," or, "Oh, I need to do this and that." You don't have to do that. You can still have integrity. You can still be clothed. You can still be fly, covered up, and don't have to put on a show for the internet. That's not real. That's not real at all. So that's the first thing I want to say, because when we look at the internet, we tend to doubt ourselves. We tend to doubt our body images. And a lot of us have body dysmorphia based on the fact that we look at other women online and say, "I need to be that." So that's the first thing I would say. Stay off the internet, like literally.
And let me tell you, that's very powerful what you just said. And some people might be upset when they hear that. But I think that what you said is so real. And I love that because it's true. People take their pictures, they douse them up, they do whatever. So how do we as women get to love the body that God made us to have? Let's talk about that, because to your point, we can look at our bodies and think there's something wrong with this and wrong with that. How do we get other women to learn how to appreciate that?
So the first thing I tell a lot of my clients that do call in with self-esteem issues is to start off with daily affirmations. So what I would do is, you can make up your own affirmations as well. But I always say search affirmations for African-American women. So a list of 100 affirmations will pop up. Get you a sticky note, start writing down the ones that hit you in your core, start posting them on your mirror, in your bathroom, on your headboard, in your car when you pull down your visor, like when you open up your closet. Start doing those things, because when you start to love on yourself first internally, then you can love the outside and then you can move forward. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to improve your look, your body, or anything like that. Like I said, I'm a first-time mom. I feel like I still got my little baby fat. So that's something that I personally, want to work on, because I ain't the same size before I had them. So that's something that I personally want to work on. But I know that even if I do it at a rapid pace or at a slower pace than others, I still love me.
That's beautiful. You know, a word that came to my mind when you were speaking, Yazmin, was stronghold. And some of us, I'll speak for myself, I came from an abusive background as a kid, sexually and physically abused. And the reason why I use the word stronghold is because some things can hold you down and they become strongholds. And you used the word that was so key, affirmation. And I've often, you can correct me, of course, but I've often heard that it takes 7 positive words to counteract 1 negative word. What other things can we do to build ourselves up as women? And the reason I want to go deeper, Yazmin, is because of our culture. I want to talk about it from no disrespect to anybody else, but I want to talk about it from the Black culture, because we're already trained in
they're not going like this.
Okay. Well, we're gonna say it anyway.
Yeah, we are.
We're conditioned in our minds to really be negative toward each other. So let's talk about that. Say what you're gonna say. They may not like it.
I'm just gonna jump right into being negative towards each other. Number one, we learned that from our mothers.
Interesting.
Our mothers are the first examples of us having a relationship with another woman. Wow. Most of the time within our community, our mothers are toxic, but we protect them. So we never get a chance to say that until we get to an age where we're not scared, we're not afraid, and we feel like once we're out of their house, now we have a voice. Wow. So that's the first thing that we need to deal with is our toxic mothers. Some of our mothers didn't know how to be mothers. So they did it blindfolded and did the best that they could. You know, I got to an age where I said, you know what? She did what she could. I can't even be mad now that I'm a mother, because I would do anything for my son.
Yeah.
But here's the key thing. What I say to him and how I groom him emotionally and spiritually counts. Right. And that's one thing I felt like we lack, emotional growth.
Okay.
Some of us grew up in households where our parents, especially our mothers, say, stop crying. What are you crying for? Especially as women. What do you think you're grown? You smelling yourself. I come from a Caribbean household. Oh, you smelling your britches, you smelling your underwear. Yeah. Like, you know, you're not grown. And it's like, I'm not trying to be grown. I'm trying to express something to you that you keep knocking back. So most of us don't have emotional maturity. Okay. And then we're not built up spiritually either. Right. That's something that we're lacking as well. So I would suggest for the women that are watching us on tonight to start building yourself up emotionally, because I'm a firm believer in you need a therapist and you need God. You need both. Yes. And some of us need medication. So don't shy away from, oh, well, I'm going to just pray that God fix me. No. You need him plus to sit on somebody's couch. Right. Like you had to work on you internally. Right. Like I couldn't be the mother that I am today, or be the mother that I want to be, or be the wife or the entrepreneur or the student, you know, that I want to be, if I did not work on me internally. I had to work on a little girl that was still stuck inside of me.
See, that's where I want to go. Stay right there. Let's talk about that little girl. If you had to say something to the little girl, since you mentioned it, what would you say to her now, looking at the grown woman that you are?
Jean, you want to make me cry? I think you want to see the tears coming out my eyes. I would say to her, you're not the black sheep.
Ooh, stay there. Okay. All right.
You're not the black sheep. You're not what they said you would be. And the same people that spoke up against you don't have anything today. You're not who they say you would be. Right. You won't be a teen mom. You won't be a high school dropout. You won't be a failure. You did get married. You do have 3 degrees. You are making it. You are doing it. You're the first in your family too, in your immediate family, to do it on both sides. So you're not what they say you are. No, don't let people's word curses curse you and then scare you out of your potential. We can't do that. No. So that's what I would tell. That's what I would tell younger me.
That's good. So are we our sisters keepers?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I noticed that some of us aren't, because I'm getting ready to shift this conversation a little bit. But some of us are willing to take back a man before we forgive our girlfriends.
Okay.
So how can I be my sister's keeper if I'm not going to be able to forgive her? I'm not going to be able to be her confidant. I'm not going to be able to keep her secrets. I'm not going to be able to pull her close when I see she's starting to dwindle away.
Right.
I can't be my sister keeper if I don't have all of those attributes that she may need in that moment. Right. And I have to be a forgiver. Sometimes, you know, as women, we can be harsh to each other and say things that we really don't mean, but we're angry. And sometimes we don't know how to say sorry to each other. Because it's like, oh, no, I don't care what she says. Like, I'm not saying sorry. I'm moving on. It's like, but sis, you just forgave John, who you just call him at the Rib Shack with 5 times in a row with 5 different women. But you can't forgive her because she says she doesn't agree with you. Wow. No, that isn't fair. We have to possess those, qualities in order to be our sister keeper. So I'm my sister's keeper. Seriously, I had my best friend since I was in the 3rd grade. The same female since I was in the 3rd grade. I'm her son's godmother and vice versa. She's mine. And there's no part of my life that I leave her out of. We don't even have to speak every day. But when we do, we're locked in. And it's like we never left. So that I'm my sister's keeper. Seriously.
You know, so I want to stay on that vein for a second, because even Yazmin as a sister's keeper, how would you navigate, and I'm not saying you've ever experienced this, when there's a conflict in the relationship with your sister?
I've been there.
Because I want to talk about that, because I'm going to let you speak, because sometimes resolving the conflict can change the relationship if it's not handled a certain way. So let's talk about that.
Well, the Bible says that if we have an ought with our brother or our sister, that we're supposed to go to them. And then if we can't figure it out ourselves, then we go get an elder to sit in.
Yeah.
So I honestly believe that, like I said, some of us are not emotionally mature enough to handle those conversations. So go get somebody else to help. Me and my best friend got into like a little rift right before, literally the week before her wedding. And we couldn't figure it out. I said, I'm not going. I said, I unpacked my bag. I hung up my maid of honor dress. I said, I ain't talking to this girl. I'm good. My aunt stepped in and was like, you guys been friends for 15 years. Are you serious? A disagreement is going to end the friendship? She was the elder. She stepped in and got us together. And I had to stop and say, you know what? I'm sorry. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard for us to say sorry. Because we think that our opinions and our voice just only matters and nobody else's voice matters and how she feels doesn't matter and we don't care. And then we start saying negative things and emotions and feelings come up that it's like, whoa, did you really feel like that about her? This whole time you were friends?
Right.
So, of course, I'm going to go get somebody else. If I really cannot figure it out, I'm really going to go get somebody else and go, listen, I need your support because I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. Or this is what I want to say, how that sounds. Right. Check me if what I want to say isn't correct.
Yes.
And let me humble myself enough to know that I can apologize because I'm not bigger than her and she's not bigger than me.
Right.
I can apologize. I'm like, sis, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm genuinely sorry. But you can't just say sorry and then your actions don't follow the sorry.
Right. Exactly. Because I was thinking about, it's off in scripture, it talks about reconciliation. I don't think we do such a good job as a people in reconciling because there's something called, I need to stand on right. And when you give up the right to stand on right, I really feel like God gets in there, he intervenes, because I don't need to be right. I just rather have the relationship with you. Well, that's good. I'm so glad we talked about that because there's some women that are watching tonight, Yazmin. There's some women that are going to play back. There's some women that are listening, and that we need to talk about how do we keep those bonds between each other as sisters, and it has to go past the offense because people get offended all the time. We offend, you offend, we all offend. Let's talk about keeping the bond between us as women as well, because like your point, you had a rift between your friend, but how did you maintain the bond? Because you're right, sometimes you can get through it, but it doesn't go back the same way that it was. So how do you maintain that bond? What do you
I kept the open line of communication. That's plain and simple. I kept the open line of communication and I let her know that she is able to say whatever she needs to say to me. and I'm not going to be offended.
Okay. So in other words, I'm gonna let you finish. Can we handle truth?
Some of us can't. That's just like in an intimate relationship with a significant other. We ask for them to be truthful. We ask for them to tell us the truth. And then once they tell us the truth, we on the floor crying. We can't get up for 3 days, can't eat, can't shower, can't do nothing because what they said hit us to the core. So sometimes it's even like that in other relationships as well. We cannot manage the truth. Tell me the truth. I want you to be honest with me because I don't want you to be fake. I don't want the relationship, the energy to be fake. I just know. Because if I'm being real and I'm giving you real me every single day, I need you to do the same thing in return. But some people don't know how to do that because number one, they think that, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Right.
Or I don't want to say something. But you live in this relationship is a lie if you're not going to tell me. I know you're not saying it with no malice intent. I know you're telling me because you're genuinely concerned or affected by something that I did or said.
Right. Okay.
So tell me. So I kept an open line of communication with her too. And I not just said I was loyal to her. I showed my loyalty. I made it to that wedding. I got her dress. I got her down the aisle. I picked up the back of her dress, wiped her tears. And when I went to go do my speech, we looked at each other and started crying.
Wow.
Because I was like, I have to share her with her husband now.
Wow.
Because she shared me with mine.
Right.
So I made sure that I did not just say it, but I was there for her as well.
That's beautiful. You mentioned mental health in the beginning when you spoke about what you do. How important is mental health being dealt with in a day like today?
Well, since the pandemic, I would say that mental health or individuals that are dealing with mental health now have a platform to be seen. Before, they weren't seen. Like, I remember when watching certain movies, especially black movies, if there was a cousin that had a disability, they would lock them in a bedroom. They would lock them in a basement. You just go down there to feed them and come back up. Like nobody ever sees them or nobody ever talks to them. Or, oh, he just crazy. Oh no, his screws ain't tied too tight. What? No, he really has an issue. And as a community, we've shunned away from that for so long. But I'm happy now that we're all starting to talk about it. But I don't want it to just be a fad.
Okay, right.
I don't want it to just be, oh, well, my mental health. No, are you actually dealing with the issues that you said that you have? Or not just saying it to get out of work, or not just saying it to get out of a conversation, or everything is a trigger. And that's another thing too. People are using that word. Oh, I'm triggered by this conversation. I'm triggered by this image, or I'm triggered by this. Do you honestly know what your triggers are, or you letting the internet and other people tell you what your triggers are?
Got it. Understood. We're going to take a commercial break, and we want to show you a special video. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If I am ever in doubt, I need you to be there to restore my hope and to rebuild my certainty. In confidence, I can find, in community rather, I can find my confidence, and your curiosity can affirm it. Early in my career, I led a large-scale event that did not go exactly as planned. I'm lying to you, it was terrible. And when I debriefed the event with my manager, I just knew that she was going to run down the list of every mistake I had ever made, probably from birth. But instead, she opened with a question. What was your intention? I was surprised but relieved. She knew that I was already beating myself up, and that question invited me to learn from my own mistakes instead of damage my already fragile confidence. Curiosity invites people to be in charge of their own learning. That exchange, it helped me approach my next project with the expectation of success. Permission, community, curiosity. All of these are the things that we will need to breed the confidence that we'll absolutely need to solve our greatest challenges and to build the world we dream.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Jean Price. I am so glad you tuned in tonight. We've been talking about my sister's keeper, and I have a wonderful guest that's here with us. And this has been such a great conversation because we're diving into what it's like to go through things as women, get through things as women. But let me invite my guest back because then we have something else we want to take care of. I want to welcome back to the show Miss Yazmin VanHorn. Come on back, Yazmin.
Hi, hey guys.
Hi, welcome back. Before we get started, Yazmin, we've been talking about mental health before we take the commercial break, but I just want our viewing audience to take a look at this video. Stay tuned for this.
I didn't know you'd get so emotional.
To my cousin Nina.
To my daughter Brooke.
To my niece Kieran.
To every single young woman.
I want you to know
that you matter. You belong. You are enough.
There is no one like you in this world.
Unique, fearfully, and wonderfully made.
Never lose the sparkle in your eye or the fire in your heart.
If you're a female, non-binary, gender agnostic, black or brown, queer, fat, or poor, you are still of equal worth.
Trust your resilience and look behind you. Find strength from your ancestors.
Your grandparents and I came to this country in pursuit of opportunities. You embody our hopes and dreams.
Always do your best.
Always be curious.
Always take care of yourself.
Create your boundaries, then defend them.
Stand strong when you can, lie down when you need to, and take up space wherever you're called to be.
Say what you mean and mean what you say, and don't be mean when you say it.
Keep empathy, compassion, and curiosity in your heart.
Treat everyone you meet with respect and dignity.
Love yourself.
Listen to your gut.
If something you're asked to do doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Remember,
You can do anything.
Anything that comes your way can be overcome, and there are times that you will have to live through a thing.
Don't take rejection as a closed door, but as fuel to find another way in.
Know that challenges and setbacks are opportunities in disguise.
When you stumble, what matters is how you rise back up.
During times of joy, pause. Celebrate the peace within yourself, but also look to the future and be inspired.
Hold your head up high. Do not question your value.
You have lots to offer.
Believe in yourself.
Through it all, give them Brooke.
you don't take up space. You fill the room.
I cannot wait to see all the great things you will do.
Wow. That video said a lot. Yazmin, let's speak to that a little bit. That said a lot. That was a lot.
Well, one of my very first client is in the video.
Okay.
Yes. Macy Black is in the video. Oh, excuse me, Macy Black Tyler, because she is married. It's in the video. She's a VP at Chase. She has the blonde short haircut.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked with her to get her whole look and makeup and everything together for the commercial. So I'm so grateful to her for that opportunity. That video is powerful.
Yes.
It's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
It speaks to all of the little girls in us
Mm-hmm.
that may have had any doubts.
Mm-hmm.
Little girls now that may have any doubts, or that's dealing with low self-esteem, or their family support isn't what they think it should be or it could be. That empowered me just watching it again for the 5th time. I was sitting here getting ready to tear up. I'm like, wow, like it hits you when you really sit down and pay attention.
Yeah, it did.
You're the best you can be. You can't be
one thing that stood out to me, Yazmin, was when they said, don't take rejection as a closed door, but the fuel to go back in. I had to type that up because that is such a powerful tool in the scheme of things of us as women, because so many things we feel rejected about, right? There could be so many things, but then using it, turning it and flipping it into something that can work for us. I thought that was powerful. I thought that was great.
Definitely. I don't take no for an answer. I just don't. Not in my personal life, not in education, and definitely going into being an entrepreneur. I'm not going to take no neither. I'm going to find another way, another door, another avenue. I will knock the ceiling off to make sure I do what needs to be done.
So let's talk about that for a few minutes. Kind of tell us about, I know you mentioned the business a little bit, but what steps did you take to start your own business?
This is something that I've been thinking about since I started my master's program. I felt like I had so many businesses that I was so into, hair, wigs, makeup. Like I was like, okay, I'll get samples. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
I'm not ready yet. I kept telling the past 5 years, I kept telling myself, not yet, not yet. And I felt like I wasn't released to do what I needed to do. But my pastor he's been preaching a series called Be It. And that thing hit me here. I'm like, it's my time. I've been released to do what I need to do. So now I'm it. Tag me in, I'm it. So now I feel like this is my time to push forward. This is something that I've been manifesting for a while now. I even look back at old notes from my psych courses, and I kept writing VanHorn Consulting. And I was like, oh, I noticed that earlier today, and I said, I've literally been saying this for almost 2 years. The name, I've been saying it, and I'm like, I'm at a stage where now, okay, internshiping, I can take private clients, and it's like, okay, what do I want to do? I love beauty, I love fashion, and I love being in the field of mental health. Why not merge all of that together?
Right.
So that's what I do.
Did you have any mentors? I know you mentioned your pastor. Did you have any other mentors to help you through the process along the way?
I've had a mentor since I was 13 years old.
Okay.
Yes. And that's a pretty uncommon for a lot of young girls in our community, if it's not from a boys and girls club. But no, she wasn't from a boys and girls club. I mean, this was a teacher from junior high school that we instantly connected, and she was everything to me. And I looked at her in awe. Her name is Janelle Jarvis. To this day, she's my mentor. That's one of my honorary godmothers. And I literally can call her for any and everything. Currently, she's a life coach. So I just think that's really funny. That she's a life coach now, and she was coaching me at life at 13. And, she didn't even know what she was getting herself into. But I'm so grateful to her. And also too, I'm now being in my field. I have other women that surround me that are in the field as well, that are licensed therapists, psychologists, social workers, a couple of my girlfriends that I go to them and I'm picking their brain. I'm like, okay, what do you think?
Right.
What do you think about that? And then too, I do have a regular, it's not technically a 9-to-5 because I work overnights, but I am a crisis counselor as well for NYC Well, which is the National Suicide Hotline. So I pick my supervisor's brain as well because she used to take clients. So I just have a group of women around me. At this point, I don't have a specific mentor, but I just have a group of women around me that I can just pick from and just, ask questions.
And it just goes back to what we were talking about tonight, Yazmin, about that community of women that surround us and they enhance our growth and development. How important is your life as far as growing and development? I know you talked about the different degrees you have. Are you going to take it further than where you are right now?
I think I need like 6 months to a year to just like sit in what I've already accomplished. And to do something with that first before I go run into a PhD, because like I said, I am a first-time mom. My son is only 1 year old, so I don't want to miss any of his, vital moments, important moments. I want to be here for everything. So, picking up another degree right now, it's a dream, but maybe a year from now, I'll try to do that.
Do you see yourself? I know you have, what you're into. I get it. But on the other side, do you see yourself as a mentor yourself?
I actually do.
Okay.
I do have young women that, do come to me for advice, and they ask me certain things because they're like, we don't know too many women in our age group, or that's a millennial
Yes.
that's married, or that's doing this, or that actually finished high school, or that's pursuing what they want to do and going to college. So I do get a lot of questions. I always say I suggest, because I never want to tell anyone what to do.
Right.
So I think that's just a work, when a work habit too. Now talk to them. Well, I suggest you can do this or do that, or go this way. I never want to be the one that, God forbid, something negative happens and they say, well, Yazmin told me. She told me to do this. No. At the end of the day, I can suggest things, I can give you advice, but it's up to you to push forward and know where you want to go. I always say that I wear the captain's hat on my ship, but God is my true captain. He's literally pushing me in the direction where he wants me to go. And sometimes I feel like, I try like, oh God, I'm not ready for that. I'm gonna steer another way. And he's like, now girl, get back over here.
Right.
I tell you to go that way. Yeah. Stick on the path. It's up and down, it's bumpy, but I'm sticking to the course.
That's good. I know we'll be closing the show soon, but I was thinking about how, as a mom, as a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a friend, bringing mental health, right? How do we get that out there, the awareness of it, and how we can it just helps us to all be strong women. And I'm not saying mental health from a negative perspective, because mental health can just be, to your point, just having somebody to talk to, sitting on that couch, in other words. How can we bring that awareness and make it more of a positive?
I want to say that, first of all, mental health starts with self-care. Letting your girlfriends know that it's okay to take a break. Literally, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to breathe. It's, if they're telling you everything that you're doing that they're doing, you can say, it sounds like you have a lot on your plate. Like, you're doing a lot. Like, can you manage all of that? Do you get 8 hours of sleep? Like, are you actually eating 3 meals and snacking throughout the day? Like, are you taking time to go get your hair done, your nails done, your feet done, going to get a facial, a massage? Are you taking time to just not do anything?
Right.
And just sit with yourself and your thoughts. So I want to say, I would start off with self-care. Telling another woman it's okay to have self-care. You're not being selfish.
That's right.
Don't feel guilty. It's okay to love on you and do for you first, because if you don't, you can't help nobody else. You cannot help your family if you're not okay. So you have to deal with self-care first. And then if you feel like, you're in a space where you do need to talk to someone and you don't know where to go, I would suggest for our viewers to dial 988, which is NYC Well. And we don't just deal with clients that, have suicidal ideation or homicidal ideation. No, we are a well of resources as well. Good. We're connected to so many different providers within the 5 boroughs in the New York City area that we can, if you're in New York, that we can connect you to any and everyone. If you're looking for a therapist, you don't have insurance, don't worry, because they will not turn you away. And a lot of people don't have insurance, and that's something that they're constantly concerned about. Like, can I afford to go to the doctor?
Right, exactly. Wow.
So yeah, you definitely would get a lot of information from there. And then also, if you're not in the New York City area, we have no problem transferring the call to another state, another hotline, and putting you in place with the right people. You have, like I said, focus on yourself, put yourself out there, let your girlfriends know that, you're struggling at the moment, that you are in need of support, you are in need of prayer. Hey, can we go to lunch? Can we go to dinner? Like, can we, do anything, just to give yourself a break and a breather, or start texting. I'll text before I call. Like, you busy? What you doing? I'm gonna FaceTime you. Okay. Nice. And I'll get on a FaceTime and start talking.
Nice. Everything that Yazmin just said really goes to the title of our show tonight, Being Your Sister's Keeper. And that was so good, Yazmin, because you just gave a whole list of different things we can do, right? To encourage each other as women, as moms, as daughters, as sisters. We have a few minutes left in the show tonight, Yazmin. What is your final thoughts for the last 30 seconds?
My final thought is women, continue to love on yourself. Self-care is very important. Continue to build the village around you that you need to support you. Don't continue to pour out into somebody else. Be able to reserve some of that for yourself and have a group of women that pour into you as well. Believe in yourself. Push.
Yes.
You can do it. You can make it. Remember those daily affirmations. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are successful. You are meant to be great. You are meant to have everything that you are in need and want to have, because why? God says that you are supposed to have it. So continue to love on yourself, ladies.
Wow. We want to thank Yazmin VanHorn for being on tonight. Listen, VanHorn, what is it? Consulting LLC?
Yes, VanHorn Consulting LLC. Our Instagram is VanHorn Consulting. We only have an Instagram as of right now.
Well, listen, you want to reach out to her on Instagram. She has I always use the word a wealth of knowledge. And wealth is what? Wealth means there's substance there. So you want to reach out to Yazmin. Yazmin, thank you for being on Real Talk with Jean Price. We invite you back after you take your break, spend some time with your son. But we invite you to come back to Real Talk. And
whenever you call, I'm coming back.
Okay, we want to have another conversation to kind of catch up on you, because we can see that the hand of the Lord is upon her and she has some great things that she's doing in the kingdom. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us on Real Talk with Jean Price.